So picture this, a popular online store, one you've probably browsed, is having a huge sale. Everyone's rushing to get the best deals. Deep inside the website's code, there's a tiny, almost invisible rule. It says, if a customer adds a negative quantity of an item to their cart, just give them a refund for that amount. Now, this was probably put in place by a developer to handle returns or cancellations smoothly. But they didn't think about what would happen if someone did it on purpose with a brand new order. It's a small oversight, a logical step that makes sense in one context but falls apart completely in another. No one thought to check if the total order value could actually go below zero. An attacker just messing around discovers this. They add a new expensive TV to their cart. Then they add a cheap item like a pack of batteries. But they enter the quantity as -100. The system, following its own rules perfectly, calculates the total. It adds the price of the TV, but then it subtracts the price of 100 packs of batteries. Suddenly, the shopping cart total isn't just zero, it's a negative number. The attacker proceeds to checkout, and the system, instead of charging them, actually pays them the negative balance. They just got a free TV and a nice cash bonus for their trouble. This isn't some far-fetched sci-fi plot. It's a real-world example of a business logic flaw. It's not a virus, it's not a data breach in the traditional sense, and no fancy security software would ever flag it as a problem. Why? Because the code is doing exactly what it was told to do. It's following the programmed logic. The problem isn't in the code's execution, it's in the code's intention. The logic itself, the business rule it was designed to enforce, has a massive gaping hole in it that can be driven right through with a cleverly manipulated shopping cart. It's a silent, costly mistake waiting to be found. The scary part is how simple it is. There's no complex hacking involved, no brute force attacks cracking passwords, it's just understanding the system's rules better than the people who made them. The attacker is just a user, clicking buttons and entering numbers in a way the designers never anticipated. And for the business, the consequences are huge. They could lose millions in fraudulent orders before they even realize what's happening. Their inventory system would be a mess, and their reputation for being a secure place to shop could be shattered, all from one line of code that didn't consider the what-if. Alright, let's break it down. What is a business logic flaw? Forget the technical jargon for a second. Think of it like a board game. Every game has a set of rules. You roll the dice, you move your piece, you collect money when you pass go. The game works because everyone follows these rules. Now imagine a rule book that has a weird loophole. Maybe it says, you can trade properties with another player, but it forgets to say that both players have to agree. A clever player could just announce they're trading their worst property for your best one, and according to the rules, it's a valid move. The game is broken, not because someone is cheating, but because the rules themselves are flawed. That's a business logic flaw in a nutshell. So if these flaws are so dangerous, why don't we just run a scan and find them? Well, that's the core of the problem. Standard security tools are great at finding known vulnerabilities. Think of them like a security guard with a checklist. They're checking for open ports, weak passwords, outdated software, and common attack patterns like SQL injection. These are the usual suspects, the things that have been seen 1,000 times before. The scanner knows what a weak password looks like, and it knows what a malicious line of code looks like. It's looking for technical mistakes. But a business logic flaw isn't a technical mistake in the same way. It's a mistake in the idea. A scanner can't understand the purpose of your application. Let's dive into a more unusual example, something that flies under the radar. Imagine an online service, let's say a streaming platform, that has a referral program. The logic is simple. You refer a friend, and when they sign up and pay, you get a $10 gift card applied to your account. The system is set up to handle this automatically. A new user signs up with your code, their payment is processed, and a script runs to credit your account with $10. It's a standard, common business practice designed to encourage growth. Everything seems fine on the surface. Now, an attacker notices something interesting in the sign-up process. When a new user signs up, the system creates their account before it processes their payment. For a brief moment, a new user account exists in a pending payment state. The attacker realizes the referral credit script is triggered by the creation of the account, not the successful payment. The developer's logic assumed that one would always immediately follow the other, but they are, in fact, two separate events. This is the tiny crack in the system's logic. The assumption that sign-up and payment are a single atomic transaction. So, the attacker writes a simple script. It uses their referral code to create thousands of new accounts per minute. It doesn't need to provide valid payment details for any of them. For each account created, the system's flawed logic fires. Boom, $10 credit. Boom, another $10. The attacker's main account balance starts skyrocketing. Within an hour, they've racked up hundreds of thousands of dollars in free credit. They can use this to pay for their own subscription for the rest of their life. Or, if the platform allows it, maybe even use that credit to buy physical goods or gift it to other users. The company wouldn't notice this right away. Their payment system would show thousands of failed transactions, which might get flagged as a technical issue. But they wouldn't immediately connect it to the referral program. The referral system's logs would just show that it's wildly successful, awarding credits exactly as it was programmed to. The flaw isn't a bug that crashes the system, it's a logic gap between two separate processes. It exploits a timing window and a faulty assumption, turning a customer acquisition tool into a money-printing machine for the attacker, all without tripping any traditional security alarms. So, how do attackers actually find these subtle, almost invisible flaws? Well, it's not usually a random guess. It's a methodical process of exploration and testing, almost like a scientist studying a new organism. The first step is mapping the application. An attacker will sign up for an account and just use the service like a normal person but with a critical eye. They'll click every button, fill out every form, try every feature. They're not trying to break anything yet. They're just building a mental map of how the system works. What are the steps to reset a password? How does the shopping cart calculate shipping? What happens when I apply a coupon? Once they understand the happy path, the way the system is supposed to be used, they start to deviate. When one of these business logic flaws gets exploited, the damage isn't just a line item on a spreadsheet. It creates a ripple effect that can seriously harm a company. The most obvious impact, of course, is financial. In the infinite gift card example, the company could lose hundreds of thousands of dollars in unearned service credits. In the negative shopping cart scenario, it's straight-up cash and physical goods walking out the door. These direct financial losses can be massive, especially if a flaw is exploited at scale before it's discovered. So, how do we stop these things from happening? For developers, it starts with a shift in mindset. You can't just code for the happy path anymore. You have to actively think like an attacker. Every time you write a piece of code that enforces a business rule, you have to stop and ask, how could this be abused? Fixing this problem isn't just for developers. Business leaders and executives have a huge role to play. It starts with recognizing that application security is not just an IT problem, it's a core business risk. So, after all that, what's the big takeaway? It's that some of the most dangerous threats to a business aren't the loud, explosive attacks we see in movies. They're the quiet, subtle flaws hiding in plain sight. They are baked into the very logic that makes our favorite apps and websites work. These business logic flaws are not just simple coding mistakes, they are failures of imagination. They happen when we fail to imagine how a clever person with bad intentions might use our own rules against us. It's a reminder that a system is only as strong as its most overlooked assumption. The real danger here is that we're building more complex, interconnected systems every single day.